regular audit of accredited CA as like that. KISA audit the accredited CA operation every year and confirm whether the CA managed the operation securely. And then KISA submit audit result to MOPAS. KISA provides self-assessment guideline to accredited CA. Audit criteria for accredited CA is based on these two guidelines: guideline on electronic signature certification practices and guideline on accredited CA's protective measures. As you have seen, lots of people are using PKI in Korea. Eventually, you may wonder what kind of area of PKI certificate are used in Korea. Here are the business model. Internet banking and online stock are famous PKI model. All the banks and post office internet banking service based on accredited certificate. Authenticating user for login, account balance inquiry, money transfer, etc. There through accredited certificate. It is recommended the internet banking user to use the accredited certificate for secure online transaction. That was the policy from Financial Service Commission. That was the user of internet banking and online stock must use the certificate for online transaction. But this policy is changed recently. Bank and security corporation cannot adopt other authentication method. They must use the PKI certificate or other authentication method which meets the security level of PKI.
Maybe in the morning session we only know about the CONAPS, which is the Korea e-procurement service. But actually in CONAPS also PKI and the digital certificate technology has been applied. So actually the supplier or buyer, they issue the digital certificate from the CA accredited by Korean government. Actually, if they use their certificate into their website, I mean the public broker service website, it automatically verify the identification. So if they log into the website with their digital certificate, it automatically confirmed their identification. Because in Korea, this is kind of the international technology. In Korea, we have a national ID number, like the America or like other countries. But actually, in our digital certificate, our national ID number has been encrypted as is included in the digital certificate. So when the user joined when user logged in this kind of web service, and then the kind of PKI toolkit installed in this website automatically checking its identification. They didn't decrypt the national ID number. They just encrypted they just use the encrypted national ID number, and using the hash function, and they compare the hash value between the encrypted original encrypted national ID number, also the user's national ID number. As the hash number is completely the same, it is automatically check the user identification on website. To improve the security level of e-procurement service, in recent years, Korean e-procurement service, we call it the PPS, Public Procurement Service. they conducted some kind of biosecurity token. It is a security token with your fingerprint, bio information. So it is mandatory to join any kind of the public procurement biddings. So any vendors or any tenderers who want to join the bidding, they must purchase this kind of a biosecurity token. Also, the security token, that is a certificate is issued and stored in these biosecurity tokens. Now we are going to the National Tax Service. As we mentioned, we have a website, and then anyone, especially taxpayers visit their website. Also, to use this kind of service, it is mandatory get this certificate from the certificate authorities. But actually, in addition, we have just 5 certificate authority, and then to get the certificate, it is required to have the face-to-face identification at the first time. But actually, we have RA, the registration authorities. So actually, for example, in my authority, we are the one of our quality CAs in Korea, but actually we have almost 10,000 RAs nationwide. So the people don't need to go to Seoul to just check the identification. They just go to the near the RA related to our CA, and they get their certificate. Let's go back to this page. Anyway, if they get this certificate, they try to use this certificate to log into this website. Actually, they can use tax service or electronic tax payment. And in Korea, the